remember the film, you know?
Yeah.
All right.
That's the only thing they had in common was that one damn film. And they kind of liked it.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Perfect 10 podcast. I am one of your hosts, Jacob Erdy. Alongside me, as you already know, Daniel Dees.
That's right.
Recording on an odd Friday afternoon.
I know. It's weird.
It is. Yeah.
Hadn't eaten an early Friday, too.
Yeah.
Haven't eaten dinner yet.
Yeah. So we're gonna see how it goes, you know.
Yeah.
And as you could have told by that intro song, we are doing the top 10 movies everyone should see.
Yes.
Now it's not at all my favorite top 10 movies.
Yeah. Are they in my top 50 movies? Absolutely, every single one of them are.
I think I have some that probably wouldn't even make my top 50, but they are movies that everyone should see, whether it be for the sake of like culture or like.
I just did movies that I love that are also at the same time very fucking good.
Okay.
That's how I did it.
So no, mine
because if I did my top 10 favorite movies, I put some movies on here people think, well, that
like
movie
stupid movies.
Yeah, that movie's dumb.
Like Leon the Professional.
Oh fuck, you ain't even seen it yet.
I did watch it.
It's good.
You should rethink your take on that.
No, that's a great fucking movie.
Have you seen the extended version?
Yes.
It's very creepy.
Yeah. It's kind of uncomfortable.
It's a
that's what there's a reason that part didn't make the theatrical cut.
Yeah, it's a love movie between a 12-year-old and a grown man.
Yeah, that's why
it's an odd movie.
You don't watch the extended version.
I didn't. That was the only one that was on Netflix or whatever it was.
No, that's
speaking of, trivia question.
All right, how many movies are there?
How many movies are on Netflix?
Oh shit.
They gave me an exact number.
Oh fuck.
I'll give you a hint. It's probably not as many as you think it is.
850.
Okay, so it's way more than what you think it is. But you're probably thinking, because every time I get on there and search a movie, it ain't on there. It ain't on there.
All right, so
it's way more than what you think.
I gotta think of foreign films too.
I guess.
This
is from July 2020.
1,500.
No.
3,781. That's cap.
They're right. They're paying for some trash movies because every movie I search ain't on it.
Yeah.
Hot garbage.
That's bullshit.
But yeah, so my list is I don't know, a lot of these probably wouldn't make my top 50, honestly. But they all have
a lot of these
all have their own
top
reason for being on there.
Let's see. Actually, all these would make my top 50. Now I think about it.
These are all a movie every part, like the whole spirit of the list. You should see every one of these movies.
Yeah, especially this day and age.
And
there's obvious classics out there that you need to watch, like what you said, Breakfast at Tiffany's. I feel like everybody should watch Breakfast at Tiffany's.
See, I don't even.
It's a
I don't even know
culturally.
if I've seen it.
I think when it comes to Audrey Hepburn, I think that's the standard.
I did watch Clueless not long ago, and I watched.
Clueless is all right.
And I watched Weekend at Bernie's. Terrible movie.
Don't like Weekend at Bernie's. Not a Weekend at Bernie's guy.
I mean,
I know people who just love that movie.
I bet like at the time it came out, absolutely. But like now,
the best thing about Weekend at Bernie's is Move It Like Bernie's song.
Exactly. That's it. But anyway, you have any honorables, dishonorables?
I
have one super.
I don't have a super. I have honorables and 3 dishonorables.
I didn't do any dishonorables.
I'd say dishonorable because you can go your whole life without watching this movie. But everybody says you gotta watch this movie. It's so great. But
okay.
All right. So for dishonorables, I got Godfather 1, 2, and 3.
Okay. All right.
Those movies they're trash.
Dude, I watched Casino last night. Not that great of a movie.
It's okay.
It's okay. Whenever you cast Joe Pesci as the muscle guy, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Do Robert De Niro if you got to pick one of those dudes.
Yeah. My honorable mentions, I got Django Unchained.
Okay.
Because I was torn between.
Well, that's just a great movie.
Yeah. Because if the world went to shit, the apocalypse, and we can't watch movies anymore, and you got to tell the story of film, you got to mention Quentin Tarantino.
Okay.
And I was torn between Django and another movie that I ranked as like his best movies.
Okay.
So Django Unchained, I got Jaws.
Okay.
Scarface.
Okay, dude.
Everybody's got to watch Scarface.
I hear you.
The Thing. Psycho. And Star Wars.
Okay.
Oh, and Raid Redemption, my favorite action movie.
All right.
It's not that culturally impactful of a movie. I just gave it an honorable mention because everybody has to see that.
I have a hilarious dumb super mention, honestly.
Let's hear it.
My honorables, I got Forrest Gump, American History X, To Kill a Mockingbird,
American History X. Yeah, honorable mention.
Remember the Titans, Shawshank Redemption, Sling Blade, Casablanca.
Casablanca is lame.
No, dude, you just don't appreciate classics. Saving Private Ryan and Secondhand Lions.
God,
Secondhand Lions is a classic, dude.
Well, fuck it ain't.
My super mention.
All right.
The Fast and the Furious.
I'll give it to you.
It is a moment taken from time.
The first Fast and the Furious?
The original.
Yeah.
Like,
I get what you're saying here because it has nothing to do with the current ones.
Right. Well, and it was like a snapshot of what the late 90s, early 2000s was. Like flashy, street racing.
And the moment we saw that dude playing PlayStation in his car, we thought that was the coolest shit.
Coolest thing of all time.
And now we look at it, we're thinking, that's going to kill your battery, dog.
But no, it like basically that movie is a piece of history.
It is. I'll give you that. I'm giving you that.
So that's why I put it there, you know? I couldn't with a sober mind put it in my top 10, but it deserves to be mentioned.
Yeah. I agree.
But anyway.
All right, so
dive into your top 10, dog. I feel like we're definitely going to overlap on a bunch of these.
We have to. All right, number 10. This is the movie I picked to represent Quentin Tarantino. I got Inglourious Bastards.
Okay. I don't have it, but I didn't think.
I like it much better than everybody says Pulp Fiction. I just feel like that's the trendy pick.
Pulp Fiction's okay.
It's decent.
But
Inglourious Bastards is his best movie.
I still think Django's his best, but
I'm very 50-50 on that. I mean, if I had to make this list next week, it'd probably be Django right there.
Yeah. See, I would take Django specifically for the comedic value as well, because it is hilarious.
I mean, Inglourious Bastards pretty funny too when they're trying to speak Italian.
Yeah. Well, I don't speak any. So you're
say Alvidish then to your Nazi balls. Oh my God, that's some good shit.
Solid movie. That one was just dumber to me though, because Tarantino always does that thing in every movie where just everybody dies.
Yeah.
But in that one, it was like a lazy way to do it.
Yeah.
But good movie though, nonetheless.
Yeah. Number 9 was in your honorable. I got Forrest Gump.
Okay.
That's one of those movies that people say, I never saw Forrest Gump. You're like, oh, you gotta watch it.
Yeah. Realistically, it should have been in my top 10 considering all the ones I have in here, but like I feel like it serves the same purpose as a few of these that I have in here already anyway.
I get that. And number 8, and I do have respect for the classics, it's probably my favorite black and white movie. Classic cinema. I got 12 Angry Men.
No, that was black and white.
Yeah, you're thinking of the remake, the TV remake,
the comedy one.
The comedy one was Jury Duty with Pauly Shore.
No, I'm thinking of 12 Angry Men. It's in color. It was made in like the mid 90s, late 90s.
Oh yeah. It wasn't a comedy.
Well, I mean, it was funny. No, 12 Grumpy Men or something like that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about, dude.
But yeah, 12 Angry Men. I think that was. I could still watch that movie to this day because every now and then I'll see a classic movie. I was like, why is this a classic? This is hot garbage. But 12 Angry Men, that movie still fucks.
I just thought of another classic, Sergeant York.
Never seen it.
Nah, I mean, you really got to appreciate classics. It's an all-timer. It's 3 hours long in black and white.
Oh, those are the hard movies.
You really got to appreciate a classic, but
I'll mention The Dictator, Charlie Chaplin.
Okay.
That's a great one.
That's a throwback. Another honorable. We can do honors for today's. Cool Hand Luke.
Yeah. Butch Cassidy, Sundance Kid.
Great movie. But anyway, so that was your 10, 9, 8?
That was my 10, 9, 8.
All right, so my number 10. This is just one you have to see. Sure, it has some moral lessons built into it. And I guess it was kind of groundbreaking for the time. I believe it started in black and white and changed to color.
Mm-hmm.
I got Wizard of Oz.
Thought about it. Just
good. I mean, it's not that it's that awesomely entertaining of a movie.
It was a Technicolor.
Right. It was like the beginning of it, the first of its kind, sort of. And it does have a lot of, values built into it.
Imagine going in that movie, not knowing anything going in.
Oh,
and seeing that for the first time. You're not okay at that moment.
Yeah. I mean, like if you didn't even know color was about to hit you.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, what is going on?
You're just looking around the theater like, am I the only one seeing this shit?
Oh,
am I having a stroke?
Dude, I got another super I got to add. I'm not gonna say it because I got a feeling you may have it. It is.
All right.
It's another cultural all timer. But anyway, Wizard of Oz in my 10 spot. My number 9 spot. I got Rocky.
We'll get there.
Okay. Yeah, I figured you'd had to have Rocky.
We're gonna overlap a few times.
We're going to for sure. Because I mean, these are all time classics. My number 8. I got Rounders.
God damn, I didn't think about Rounders.
Ra-
Love Rounders.
It's a movie that I love and I hate. It's like the story of like you can't keep people around you that are only going to drag you down.
Yeah, you gotta get rid of the toxicity.
He could have been successful so many times, but his degenerate friend just
He should have just put a bullet in him.
I mean, and he couldn't get away from it. And like he just let his degenerate friend just ruin his life for him. His woman left him. Now, sure, it is a story of perseverance in a way. Like he did win in the end, but I mean,
Yeah, but
he ruined his life to get there.
Yeah,
And his buddy was such a degenerate. He kept giving him money. He could have walked away 10 times
never did.
and been fine. He would
He should have beat his ass at minimum.
at minimum. But he just kept like whenever the degenerate would like be square, he would just try to double it to get some profit on top of it, lose it all, screw it again.
I mean, we've all been there.
I mean, not to
that magnitude.
I mean, this dude.
Everybody's like gotten close to that parlay, that 7-leg parlay. You get 6, and that final one fucks you over. You're like, I could do this again.
Yeah,
I could double up, make that money back plus the profit.
Yeah,
We've
exactly.
been there.
But yeah, so my number 8, I got Rounders, just because I mean, it's a good lesson in learning when to walk away.
All right, my 7 through 1. You could really arrange this however you want, and I won't complain. Actually, you could flip this 1, make my 1 7, my 2 6.
My number
so on
1,
and so on.
my number 1 is possibly the most moving thing I've ever watched.
Okay.
It's a kind of a cheater pick. It's not a documentary, but it sort of is. But anyway, we're gonna get there.
We'll get there. That's interesting. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's I don't think you've seen it. I think I've talked about it on here before, though.
All right, my number 7. If I had to pick a Western, this would be my go-to. I got The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Okay. Yeah.
Love that movie. I absolutely love it. I almost,
I've been meaning to go back and watch it again just because it's been so long since I've seen it.
since I ranked it, I've been wanting to watch it. And I almost watched it when I got home and I forgot we're recording tonight.
Okay. Dishonorable mention. No Country for Old Men.
It's all right.
It's
overrated as hell.
a Coen Brothers movie, isn't it? It's trash.
Yeah. I mean, I won't say it's trash. It's okay.
The way it's recorded, very interesting. The way it's filmed, the actual movie itself, trash. All Coen Brothers movies are like that. They're filmed in a very interesting way. The perspectives.
That's one of those movies that people just hype up before you see it.
Yeah.
And then you just watch and you're like, well, this doesn't live up to the hype.
They
It's like
could
that-
they
it's
could have
that-
killed the guy at any point.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's what's annoying about it.
That and what's that Slapdicks movie? There Will Be Blood.
Oh.
That movie sucked.
If you want to get stressed out, go watch that movie.
Oh yeah, that's a stressful movie. Like you just want to beat everybody's ass in that movie.
Yeah.
There's like no likable character in that movie.
Not one.
I hated that movie because everybody's like, "Oh, what's
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis?" Everybody, "Oh,
It's-
Daniel Day-Lewis is so great in this movie. You
it's-
got to see it."
It's only because every character in that whole movie is hateable.
Absolutely. I hate everybody in that movie, and I hate that.
I don't
movie.
like movies that constantly stress me out.
Dishonorable mention. There Will Be Blood.
Okay. Wait, so that was your 7?
That was my 7. Number 6. Again, this could easily be my number 1 as culturally impactful movie. I got Dumb and Dumber.
Oh,
You don't have it?
I don't have it.
Oh shit! I
No,
thought you would have.
No, so that's what I'm saying though. This is not at all my top favorite movies.
Well, no. If I had to recommend one comedy movie to somebody who's never seen a movie before, Dumb and Dumber's that go-to for me.
So Dumb and Dumber just didn't have any message in any way.
And that's beautiful.
For
to
the
me.
sake of comedy, 1,000%. It might be my number 1 movie of all time.
It might be my number 1 of all time too.
It's top 10 easy.
Yeah.
But as far as like movies you have to see,
Yeah, it's top 10 for me.
okay, that's
Because like I said, we're like if we get to sit down,
if I could recommend one comedy to anybody ever, it's gonna be Dumb
like we
and
dig
Dumber.
up George Washington, turns out he's still alive. He's like, what the fuck is a movie? And we were like, all right, you got to watch one comedy. You want to laugh? I'm giving you Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, I actually do have a comedy in my top 10 though, but it's not Dumb and Dumber.
Really?
Yeah.
I bet I know what it is.
I'll let you guess right before I say it.
All right. So that's my number 6.
All right, so my number 7. These two dudes came out the gate hot. I believe they wrote it. I don't think they directed it.
Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Well, that's one of my favorite ones.
Another story of like the guy's just self-handicapping basically.
He's self-sabotaging.
He's a genius, but he's like scared to
succeed.
Right. That and you know, at least he's got a good buddy that's always telling him like, dude, you know, do something with your life. But like,
yeah, if you're doing what I'm doing, by the time we're 60, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
It's like you're not doing this for yourself. You're doing this for me. You got a winning lottery ticket in your hand, homie.
Right. Yeah.
You gotta go cash that in. Because everybody here will kill to be in that position you're in.
Right.
And you being here is kind of slapping our face.
Good Will Hunting, unbelievable movie.
Love Good Will Hunting.
And you know, and just great casting as well, you know.
Yeah.
So that's my 7th spot. My number 6 spot. Another similar story. Well, not similar at all. This is about a kid just stuck in a small town, just trying everything he can to escape. Like he's got family holding him back. You know,
What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
I'm guessing these shits.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's an unbelievable movie, dude.
It is. That's somebody else who just can't allow himself to be great because he has a built-in excuse,
right,
for him to just
his mom and his brother that's mentally handicapped, and he's got to take care of the family, like it, and he, you know, just all kind of like small town storylines along with it as well, you know,
yeah.
Like the hot neighbor, you know, but yeah, What's Eating Gilbert Grape? If you haven't seen that movie, you just have to watch. I mean, and it's Leo. How he didn't win, what a Emmy or Grammy? What Grammys?
Oscar. Grammy's music. Emmy is TV.
Yes. Okay. How he didn't win an Oscar? Well, he was like 14 or 15.
Well, he didn't win because, like Robert Downey Jr. said, you can never go full.
Right. But I mean,
he went full send.
Well, because his performance was unbelievable for being that young.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure you didn't know who the kid was based off his other acting stuff. You would swear he was actually one of them.
But dude, it's sad as hell too.
That is probably the saddest movie.
Say Where's Honey? Oh yeah, I mean,
top 10 saddest movies.
Ooh, all right, add it to the list.
That's gonna be a good one.
I got 3 on top of my head already. But yeah, so my number 6 spot. What's Eating Gilbert Grape? Very heavy movie. But
yeah,
you have to see it once.
All right, number 5. We mentioned this movie hell of a lot, probably more than Dumb and Dumber. I got American Psycho.
Okay. So again,
that's one of those mindfuck movies. Like if somebody says, give me a movie it's kind of like a mindfucker, like, all right, American Psycho. Because you don't know if like what's going on is actually happening.
Have you seen The Loft?
Mm-mm.
Another really good thriller that's going to keep you guessing all the way to the end.
All right. I like those kind of movies.
But yeah, like again, I mean, American Psycho is going to be in my top 15 for sure. But there isn't any weight to it. It's just an entertainment. Again, also hilarious. I have to return some videotapes. It's like one of the all-time just bailing lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, great movie though. And still, you can decide how you think it actually ended kind of on your own.
Was he actually doing this stuff, or is he just
not doing it, or was it somebody else, or it's a very interesting movie.
I love it. All right, so that's number 5. My number 4, you just mentioned it, Rocky.
Okay. The ultimate underdog story.
That, and it's just the ultimate sports movie.
Yeah. I mean, you play Eye of the Tiger, I'm getting hyped.
Or even his original workout montage movie.
Yeah.
Ding, with a little faint bell.
Ding.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm right there with you, dog. It's
Love Rocky.
Hard to beat. I mean, probably the first 3, all great. Starts to fall off after that.
I like 4, where he beats the Russian.
Yeah.
5 sucked.
Oh, wait. So I'm thinking, yeah. So all the way to 4, they're good for sure.
Yeah. Then 5 happened, and then Rocky Balboa happened. But I like the Creed movies. Movies.
I haven't seen any of those yet.
They're pretty decent.
Well, I went and watched. Was it Rocky Balboa? Was the one where he was fighting Robert De Niro when he was like 60? What was
Robert De Niro?
Who did he?
No, you're thinking of Grudge Match.
Okay, no, that's not. No, Rocky Balboa came out in what, like 2009?
Yeah, he was fighting Antonio Tarver's character, Mason the Lion Dixon, one of the funniest fucking names.
But he was like 60 years old, was he not? Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, well, that movie was dog shit.
But yeah, no, like the first handful of Rockies, all time great.
Yeah,
and I mean, just again, one you got to watch. That was your 4.
Yeah.
So my number 5 and 4 are polar opposites. My number 5, another very heavy movie. Do not watch this movie unless you are trying to cry. Honestly,
Old Yeller,
no,
Marley and Me.
no. There's not an animal involved, but there is in a way.
Okay.
Think about that rabbit
Oh, Mice and Men.
of Mice and Men.
That's a heavy fucking movie.
Again, it's another movie that like helps you frame your perspective on things in life, like how to appreciate things. Like it's another guy that's held like he's held down. He has an excuse.
George did what your boy should have did in Rounders.
Yeah.
Just put a bullet in the back
Whoa,
of his head.
whoa. I mean, don't say it like that, dude.
I'm just saying.
Just think about that rabbit.
Just think about that rabbit.
Oh, dude, it's so sad. But it's a crazy. It's like
Lenny held him back. That's how Rounders should. That's how Rounders should have ended.
He did. Lenny did, but he just didn't know his own strength.
All right.
So that was my 5 spot. My number 4 spot. The only comedy in my list.
All right. I'm gonna say Hangover.
No.
What decade?
Same era.
Ooh.
Same era. This is the only one that had any, not lesson behind it, but represented some things that
Hot Rod.
that like no, it would represent what like our lives are like right now, like our age group.
Oh, I got nothing.
I got Old School.
Ah, yes,
Good.
Old School.
You got the married homie that's trying to get away from the wife and the kids. You got the guy going through the divorce. You got the guy that's freshly out of a long-term relationship, and they're all just partying. And again,
They're just trying to regain that youth.
just trying to have a good time again. You know?
Yeah. We're actually older than them. Like their characters were older than their
Oh yeah,
characters.
wait, they were probably like 28, 30.
Yeah, they're like early 30s.
Well, I mean, we're early 30s, dude.
I mean, if you say so.
But no, so like for one, it's just a great comedy. You know what I'm saying? But it also kind of represents like real life in a way, like it shows we like none of us really like in our group are the ones that are kind of struggling going through this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But we all have friends that you'll see out of the blue, out of nowhere that come out and they're like, dude, I gotta get away. I gotta get out the house. I gotta come get some drinks. And it's like, all right, dude, I mean, I feel you, bro. I'm right here. You know what I'm saying? We can have some drinks, have a good time, but like, you need to figure that out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I put Old School just because it represents like a real, like pretty much everybody I know that's anywhere between mid-early 20s and mid-late 30s. You've seen them go through it at some point during their either long-term relationship or just out of relationship or just out of divorce. Like you had homies on all sides of all these situations.
My favorite scene in that whole movie is one that no one ever really talks about is when they're in the marriage counselor is like, what goes through your mind throughout the day?
Yeah.
He's just so honest.
I thought we were in the tree of trust.
Yeah. It's not what I think Cone of Truth or something like that.
No, the trust tree.
The trust tree. Yeah. But and I'm with him. Like,
that's why you're in therapy, right?
yeah, just to get the
To
truth
be
out.
honest.
And she got mad at him for being honest. Marriage is a scam.
Yeah. Well, no. Therapy, like couples therapy is a scam.
It has to be. That's just a way for you. Oh, be honest. Well, I'm gonna be honest. And then they get mad at you for being honest and judgmental.
Yeah. No,
I felt bad for him.
there is no that couples therapy just can't work. Like, sure, you can get in there and talk it out, but
Just vent.
you're still, I mean, you can vent to one another. Why pay somebody hundreds of dollars
Yeah, just pull a stranger.
to just tell you, hey, let it out? Okay.
Yeah, just get like somebody who's unbiased.
Because it don't matter. Your girl, if the therapist is saying, now listen, he's saying this because we're being honest. Look, you can't judge him for it. Your girl's not going to listen to that at all.
Oh no, she's judging hard. She
Yeah.
already got her mind made. When
Not
he
a
said
chance.
when he said every time he sees a waitress, he wonders what kind of
What
underwear
color
her panties are.
Yeah.
Like you can see the look of disgust on her face. Yeah, it's creepy, but he was being honest.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, couples therapy is a scam.
Yeah, I felt bad for him.
But yeah, so Old School in my 4 spot.
My number 3 spot, another movie we mention quite frequently.
Wait. A movie we've mentioned frequently? I don't know.
We said it's our best sci-fi movie. I think we hit a golden buzzer on this one.
Terminator 2?
Terminator 2.
Okay.
Because like I said, somebody says, give me the best science fiction.
Like, dude, honestly, my entire like up till it's still, if we're out in the wild and you say, hey, what's your favorite movie of all time? I might go to Terminator 2, honestly. Like when I was a kid, that was just my favorite movie.
I think my number 1 is probably my overall favorite movie.
Well, my number one I just stumbled across recently. It just came out not long ago.
Interesting.
But no, Terminator 2, it's the best action movie. The best sci-fi
action,
movie.
best sci-fi. It's just awesome.
Oh, honorable mention, Tremors.
Tremors is just goofy fun. I love Tremors.
It's an easy
Don't
watch.
watch the
trash movie.
Watch the first 3. You're solid. Don't watch anything after the third one.
All you need is 1 and 2. Third one, if you're feeling it, sure.
Don't. If you love the series and you haven't watched the newest one, don't, because it will piss you off.
Okay, well, I won't watch it then.
Yeah, just pretend it doesn't even exist.
There's so many good ones you can throw in the list, dude. But yeah, no, yeah, if you know, probably the best action movie of all time. That's not like nowadays action movies are so absurd.
Over the top.
Like Terminator 2 was like the perfect amount of action movie.
It's the perfect movie.
Storyline.
Like my top 3, I can safely say they're the perfect movies.
Okay. That was your 3 spot?
That was my 3.
My number 3 spot. We've talked about this on the pod a handful of times because it's so much better than the comp to it, the one that everybody talks about. This one you never really hear about. I don't know why. I got The Pianist.
The Pianist.
The Pianist. Adrian Brody. Just because it's
everybody always talks about Schindler's List, but The Pianist is way better.
It's way better and an hour and a half shorter.
That too.
But
big plus.
It's a great representation of the struggle that was going on during the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to watch another hour and a half of the exact same thing, go watch Schindler's List, sure.
Yeah.
But also, The Pianist is just a better movie anyway.
Yeah, and Adrian Brody. I love Liam Neeson, but Adrian Brody is a much better actor.
Yeah, and I mean, it just shows like it'll really make you appreciate.
That's another heavy movie.
Yeah, well, it's about the Holocaust, but and it's about a guy that's just like very talented. That's just being judged and whatnot just because of it's the Holocaust. But it'll really make you appreciate the freedoms we have here.
Yeah, for sure.
But the 3 spot, I got
that's a good pick. I'll put that in my honorable.
The Pianist, just because it does. I mean, it's a historical movie. It does represent the events of the Holocaust. Very heavy, but it's a must watch.
Yeah. All right, my number 2. I think it's a perfect movie. If you want to watch just somebody struggle and then finally just break free and get that freedom, I got Shawshank.
Okay, I had it in honorables.
Yeah, you did. I think it's one of those movies on IMDb I gave a perfect 10 to.
Now, it's I don't know. I guess it's one of those things where like the only thing that like I understand it's part of the way it's like it's made that way on purpose. Similar to like we were talking about earlier, There Will Be Blood. Like they make those characters hateable to show how great a character they are because you hate them so much.
Yeah.
So like in Shawshank, it's so frustrating the situation that he ends up in because all he's trying to do is help and be a good, person basically.
And he keeps getting fucked over.
I mean, bad.
And like
and
when your boy,
it's so frustrating to watch, but there's like nothing he can do about it.
And he has like one glimmer of hope when the new guy who gets in can exonerate him, but they kill him because they like having a free accountant on hand.
Right.
Dude, that just kind of takes the wind out of yourself.
He did too good.
He did too good. He was too good of a inmate.
Right.
And then you feel bad for his friend who he got out. He couldn't handle life on the outside, so he just killed himself.
Right. Yeah, that was sad.
Yeah. It's just a great movie.
Yeah, all around. Yeah, I mean, I had it in the honorables. It is an absolute must watch.
Yeah.
My number 2 and my number 1 both came out within like the last 2 years.
Interesting.
So my number 2, just because if we do this list a couple of years from now, this probably wouldn't even be in my top 10, but it perfectly represents the society we live in right now. And how detached people are from reality.
Okay.
Think of one of Leo's most recent movies.
Inception.
Don't Look Up.
Oh, that one. That's a great movie.
It perfectly represents the way people view the world, right? Like everybody is more influenced by quote unquote influencers and celebrities and stuff than they are by what the real world.
Yeah.
It's like
that's like one of those new movies that when it came out, not many people appreciate, but I bet as time goes on, it's gonna be a cult classic.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, all it is.
And plus, our outro song came from "Don't Look Up."
Yes, it did. I didn't know if you caught that or not.
Yeah.
That's exactly where it came from. But yeah, if you haven't seen Don't Look Up, especially, I mean, if you're of any conscious age, you're listening to this podcast, you will appreciate that movie. You have to go watch it.
Hopefully, our society moves past it, but the way things are going, doubt it.
It's a sad state of affairs that, like,
Hopefully, we move past that and we're able to look back on that like, man, I'm glad we're it's not like that anymore.
I love that Hollywood actually, like, big actors and stuff actually stepped up to make a movie that represents the thing that
They are.
They're right. Exactly.
This is who they are.
Exactly. Like, they know that their influence is more than what the real world is. And they made a movie that perfectly represents it. Like, hey,
Yeah.
the world is about to end, people. What are you,
That's like what
what are you doing?
Like, they walked a fine line. 'Cause not many people like social commentary in their movies, but they walked that line so perfectly that it can appease whoever.
Yeah. Great movie. Oh, like top to bottom.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I loved it.
They sprinkle in a little infidelity, a little,
I thought the infidelity storyline,
it wasn't necessary.
it wasn't. It added nothing to the story at all.
All it did was add to it another layer of somebody that
But
was
then
that was a
again-
nobody that got famous and then started to ruin their life because they found fame.
Yeah, because they like the fame more than they
Yeah.
they appreciated what they were.
So that it was multiple layers of that same message.
Yeah.
But yeah, Don't Look Up. You have to watch it.
Yeah, that was a good pick. I didn't think of that one. All right, my number one, it's my overall favorite movie. Somebody, the reason I have it at my number one is because the state of the way movies are now, like the biggest box office draws are superhero movies.
Okay.
But if you want to see a superhero movie that's just perfect, that's just great acting, great action, great story, everything, you got to go to The Dark Knight.
Okay. Well, the homie,
Got the homie over there.
yeah, you can see him right there. Yeah, The Dark Knight. It would, like, if we're talking superhero movies or
And it was probably the only movie I've ever walked out of a theater thinking I have to see this again as soon as possible because it was just so. From the very first scene to the last scene, it just kept you hooked.
yeah, I need to watch it again for sure. Just a great movie.
It has probably the best opening scene of any movie of all time. The bank robbery scene.
Yeah.
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 Oh my God. That's just so fucking good.
Though that did just make me think as well. Another honorable mention that's just a great movie and not necessarily any sort of message in it at all, but the homie again, Heath Ledger,
The Patriot.
Knight's Tale.
Love Knight's Tale.
Knight's Tale, great movie. Hilarious.
It's also on Netflix. Just dropped on Netflix.
Okay. Well, that's part of the 3,871 or what, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Uh,
Outside they bought something good.
But yeah, Dark Knight, great movie. Yeah, it's probably, I would say it's probably my number one superhero type movie.
Yeah. If I had to pick a movie to give to the aliens to prevent them from blowing up Earth, I'd feel very confident in The Dark
Okay.
Knight.
There we go. Or that would provoke him to do it even more.
Like, hey, this Joker guy's got to go.
What side are they picking? You know.
Yeah.
All right, so that's your number one.
That's number one.
So my number one,
Sense of document.
it's so I'm not even. I'm
Is it
not.
about the Jonestown massacre.
No.
Okay.
No. So I don't even really have the, like, I can't even explain how great of a performance it is. So it's this dude, basically. He's a performer. He's an artist. He's I guess a comedian. He is a magician. We've talked about it on the pod before. It's called In and of Itself. Do you remember that at all?
Mm-mm.
So it's like, you have to appreciate art probably to even like it. And it's one of the only introspective, like, deep things I would probably ever suggest watching alone. Watch it by yourself. Because if you watch it with someone, like if you're watching like something that's moving with someone, you're worried about them judging you the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, oh, if I start crying or if I start thinking about something very deep.
They're going to think I'm a bitch.
Right.
Been there.
Watch this movie. Watch In and of Itself by yourself.
In and of itself. Is it on Netflix?
Yes.
I'll watch it.
Don't read the description. The description, the first time, like, I was about to watch it one time and I read the description. I was like, this sounds dumb. I'm not going to, but forget that.
It surpasses the description.
Oh yeah. It's a work of art. Like, this dude put together a performance and he did it over and over and over. And he had this book, and every time, or he has this book, And it was like in New York, and they show like Bill Gates went to it. I think Barack Obama went to it. Like at the end, I'm not going to spoil anything really. They just go through the crowd and show all the different like famous people that actually came to the performance. But anyway, there's this book that every I don't want to spoil anything, honestly.
All right.
But unbelievable performance.
Pretty bold putting that as your number one.
Very introspective. It's the most interesting isn't the word. Most creative thing I've ever seen.
Okay.
Like I say, you have to pay attention the entire time and watch it by yourself. Because if you watch it with somebody, you're not gonna dive all the way into it. That's the only, I can't really, there's no words to explain it really. All I can say is it's probably the most impressive thing I've ever seen.
All right, I'll have to give it a shot.
So that's why it's in my number one spot. And I can't stress enough, watch it by yourself.
All right.
Maybe, for sure, have a couple glasses of wine or a drink or two as well. Makes it more interesting, I guess. But the stories that are told, the acts that are performed, it's the only thing I've ever given a just straight up 10 out of 10. Like I keep track of like when I go back and watch classics, since I'm watching them with a fresh perspective, I go back and rate them 0 to 10. Usually like a good one, usually somewhere between 8 and 8.6, you know. A lot of them fall out in like the 7, 6.2, 7, 10 out of 10. But you know, I doubt many of you have seen it. That's why I just can't stress enough. You have to go see it.
Yeah. I mean, you're hyping it up pretty big. And if I watch this movie and it sucks,
so
beware.
I preface it with the fact you have to appreciate art.
Okay. I appreciate art.
Okay. And you have to pay attention and watch it by yourself.
Well, you lost me at pay attention.
If you're on your phone half the time, don't even watch it.
What about a third?
You have to, every piece of the performance leads to the next piece.
Okay.
It's on like an hour and a half. It's not terrible.
Oh, that's okay. I got that. I got that.
Invest in it. Watch it one time. If you think it sucks, that's fine.
Okay.
I'm just saying, it's an extremely impressive piece of art, basically, like a live art.
All right.
So that's my number one spot.
All right. Rundowns. Oh, next week, by the way, you're getting top 10 nonfiction books.
Well, Thursday, not next week.
Oh, that's true.
It is technically next week, but they don't know that, dude. We already told them.
We already told them Friday. Shit. So yeah. So next,
dude, my face is definitely red, bro.
It is.
The shower, I just got directly out the shower. I haven't cooled off. Shower didn't take.
This room ain't helping.
Shower didn't take, dude.
So yeah, Thursday you get nonfiction books.
Another very good list.
Oh, I love it. I love my list. I just love books now that I think about it.
Yeah, I've been hammering some books.
I mean, you got a little impressive library in there.
Oh, one thing that you didn't say. So another super mention that I'm going to go back and add now, because it represents, I guess it's a societal, I guess it's somewhat a piece, not really a piece of history, but like it's an interesting take on the way things are in our society.
Okay.
Mel Brooks. I got Blazing Saddles.
Oh, love Blazing Saddles. Blazing
Saddles is a very interesting perspective. The way the movie is made, it's picking on ignorant rednecks.
Yeah,
obviously.
Yeah,
but the comedy that's layered in there is great.
Yeah, the
whole thing, beginning to end, top to bottom. All the little tiny things that are thrown in there. I mean, it is littered with just comedy gold. I
still laugh shit and laugh at it because it's racist as hell. But the funniest part to me is when the sheriff is near.
The sheriff's near, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. that part still plays.
Dude, there's 1,000 good jokes in that movie.
Mel Brooks is a comedy genius.
That whenever they're recruiting all the criminals to go raid the town or whatever. And the guy comes up and he's like, "What are your qualifications?" He's like, rape, murder, arson, and rape. He said, "You said rape twice." He said, "I like rape." It's like there's so many little things in the very beginning when they're working on the railroad and the Chinese guy passes out Dock that chink a day's pay for napping on the job. Like there's so many like little like sure it is racist. Don't get me wrong. But if you watch the movie, you'll understand the whole movie.
It's satire.
It's satire. It is trashing on ignorant white people.
Oh yeah.
And it's hilarious.
Mel Brooks, genius.
The governor where he's playing with the ball and the paddle.
Yeah.
This was defective. Give me the chick with the big tits. Dude, there's so many.
That's
That entire movie.
Honorable mention, Blazing Saddles.
Like it is, it's another one you just have to see.
Yeah. All right, rundowns. Number 10, Inglorious Bastards. 9, Forrest Gump. 8, 12 Angry Men. 7, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. 6, Dumb and Dumber. 5, American Psycho. 4, Rocky. 3, Terminator 2. 2, Shawshank Redemption. Number 1, Dark Knight.
My number 10, The Wizard of Oz. 9, Rocky. 8, Rounders. 7, Good Will Hunting. 6, What's Eating Gilbert Grape. 5, Of Mice and Men. 4, Old School. 3, The Pianist. Or Pianist, however you like it. 2, Don't Look Up. And number 1, In and of Itself. Reading back through that list, Old School really comes out of left field.
It really does. But I respect it though.
It represents a time in every grown male's life.
Yeah.
No matter how happy you are, married or with kids or whatever, sometimes you're trying to just go hang out with the boys, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like
just guys being dudes, the original.
Exactly. But anyway, so that's gonna do it for you Monday. Come back Thursday for nonfiction books.
Nonfiction. Real
stuff.
Yep.
We may do a fiction book list at some point, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I'm not too big into fiction books.
Me neither. The well's too deep.
Well, that ain't just nonfiction's better.
It's just right. And fiction's it's literally made up.
Yeah.
But anyway.
All right.
All right. Till then.
Peace.
Peace.